All right, so what I did yesterday, I don't know if anyone else did. I decided to mark many of those candles that were long, so I could identify long candle support and resistance. So for example, this is Amazon, AMD, very long candle. I like AMSL just because, again, long candle. I like Deere because Deere has been falling and it's now sitting on what I think is really key support. Plus, this is an inside candle. So I should probably go ahead and mark this now so that I can identify it as an inside day. And because it's Friday expiration, I tried to choose those stocks that had high ATRs to get the biggest bang for my buck. So for example, the ATR for Deere is $11. KLAC is $13. NVIDIA is $10. So I wanted to choose stocks that had the highest ATR today because their premiums are going to be cheap because it's 0-day expiration or the options expire today. The ones that we will trade. And it should be a real good opportunity to profit if we choose correctly, the right direction, the right entry, the right time, etc. So I'm looking forward to today. KLAC, which is one of those chip stocks, again, you see the long candle. It just makes it relatively easy. NVIDIA has a long candle. Now, they may not come back. Qs have a long candle. I like Schwab inside day. I like it to the downside. And I don't understand why Schwab is having so much trouble, but someone knows something. Otherwise, it wouldn't be in so much trouble. I realize the banking industry is suffering, but they had a really huge drop from a close on the 8th of $76.20 to then fall to 45. So keep my eye on that. SPY is looking like the trade for me today because not only does it have a long candle, it's one of the few that is actually hitting that support level. So looking at SPY again, and of course looking at Tesla. Tesla is having a bit of trouble here at the 20-day EMA, the 186.36 level. So that's where the resistance is currently. And then the next level of resistance is going to be up at 187.08. Actually, that's not true. What is really odd is the resistance on the 1 hour, the ATR trailing stop resistance, is higher than on the 4 hour, which is at 105. That's unusual. But we've hit this resistance several times, so it should be weaker. And we should break this morning. So I'm going to mark this here at 185.62. Understanding that this is the first level of resistance that Tesla needs to break in order to move up. But you've got the 5 crossing the 50 here, and if this can hold, that will be a pretty strong momentum to break that resistance to the upside. Looking at the VIX, of course, it's elevated today, but it's looking as though the VIX is going to hit resistance here. This algorithmic institutional resistance, long candle resistance, 5-day EMA, and it could simply end up getting rejected and decline. And based on what I see on the other time frames, let's go to a 30-minute chart. Let's see, is this engulfing? So the close on this candle is 24.90. The open on this candle is 24.91. So the open is higher. So this is an engulfing bearish candle. And even though this ATR trailing stop looks like it was broken, it's still resistance, residual. So looks like here the VIX is going to get rejected here, and it's going to decline. It's again engulfing bearish at the top of a move, signals reversal. So we get a decline. The question is then, will it hold on the support levels? And if it falls below these support levels, then we've got a really good shot for a nice move on the upside, particularly early this morning. Not sure what's going to happen for the rest of the day. Could get a big move in the morning, and then by the time the afternoon rolls around, market could sell off because of this quad witching. So any thoughts this morning about what you guys are looking at? Those are the things I have on my list: AMD, Amazon, AMSL, Deere, KLAC, NVIDIA, Triple Q, Schwab, Buy, Tesla, and VIX. I'm going to choose one of those. Probably we'll choose SPY. I may choose SPY and Tesla, but I'm looking at SPY here on the open. Questions, thoughts, comments?
Hi, Richard. Can you check on Coin and UPS, please?
Coin, yes. I like Coin because I like what's happening with Bitcoin. I didn't put it on my list only because I didn't have a good signal on it. But Bitcoin is really making a nice move today. This is today. And it's really making a nice move to the upside. So that means I believe that Coin, and I'm going to add it, and all the crypto related stocks will probably move nicely as well. And Tesla has crypto, so don't forget that. But yeah, Coin looks good to the upside. So you've got the 5 crossing the 20 here on the daily, back to the upside. So now you're starting to get a trend that's forming. It's sort of been mixed here, and this is really congestion. So if we can get another up day, then you'll get these averages start to separate, and Coin could run to about $77, $78, $79 before it has any real trouble. So yeah, I do like Coin. It's going to be relatively inexpensive today also. So $67.78 was the close. If you look at a $68 call, it's now showing right now $1.64. That would be just out, maybe inside the money, just outside the money. Inside the money would be $2.18. That's going to be less than $2 when the market opens because it's Friday. So yeah, Coin looks good. On the 4-hour, I don't really see any resistance until about $77 on Coin. So there's nothing really to stop it. There's nothing to stop it. You could say this is a small flag, but this candle hasn't finished forming. This is a 4-hour. This candle is somewhat of a concern here, this red one on the 1 hour, because that could be a hanging man. So that could signal reversal. So I would watch Coin on the open. I would suspect on the open, we may decline, look for support, and then move to the upside.
Yeah.
So I would again be a bit concerned about this candle. And when you go to the 30-minute, you have an engulfing bearish candle here. And this candle here is a shooting star, even though it's green, and then engulfing bearish. So I would be concerned. I would think that we're going to get a decline on the open on Coin. I would look for a place to buy it when it finds support. And it could maybe find its support at 69.70. But I'm going to mark the ATR trailing stop on the 30-minute here at 68.70. And even at 68.70, it would still be up because it closed at 67.78. So I would buy it that particular level. I'd also mark what's really interesting about that. Let me just put this in first, and then I will tell you what my thoughts are. What I like about this support level is if you go to the daily chart, this closes the gap. So the high was 68. Well, not quite. High was 68.62. So coin's going to open higher, around $72. So up here somewhere. Yeah, up here somewhere. So I would expect that it will close the gap, and then I would look to buy it to the upside. That's my thought on it.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same. A pullback. I'm gonna wait for probably a 15-minute pullback. And UPS.
And UPS. Yeah, UPS is probably going to be a sympathy trade with FedEx.
Mhm.
So UPS, I have a long candle on the weekly. That's a long time ago. So let me get rid of this. This is a fairly long candle, though. What's happening with UPS? Why am I looking at? So 192. Wow, UPS is really. So I'm looking at my screen and I see a price level at 199. It's not even showing on my screen. So UPS hit 197.
Mhm.
I had a cup and handle target on UPS up here. This is probably not valid anymore. Could be. It's on the weekly. I'm gonna take it off. So UPS is at 192.06. So it's gonna open higher also. And I would expect UPS to decline. So looking at the 1 hour, oh, not even the 4 hour even. This is a 4 hour chart. This is a clear shooting star.
Mhm.
So that's a reversal signal. And the same thing on the 1 hour, shooting star, reversal. So UPS should decline. And I'm going to mark the gap. It will close the gap here at 188.77. Gap to fill. Just so I know where that is.
188.7.
And if you look at the 30-minute chart, there's also an ATR trailing stop at the same level, 188.97.
Mhm.
So that's where I would look to buy a call
Yeah.
on UPS. And that's actually right back. I mean, there's a lot of consolidation here.
Mhm.
So yeah, I look at a call at UPS right around this level. That means being patient, though.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm waiting for some 15-minute setups because what is it, quadruple witching?
Yeah. And FedEx, I called it yesterday. Someone asked me for a price target on FedEx, and I got close.
It gapped huge.
Yes, yeah.
I gave
I
them
mentioned
234.
FedEx, yeah.
Yeah, and I had a
Morning.
234 target. Good morning, Satara. It got close
Yeah, it
to
was
234.
the earnings that got them way up there quick.
Yeah, so I used what I used for my target was this. I figured it would break above. I had a bull flag up here that was above this level. I figured it would get close to this resistance, and it did. I mean, big move, big move. So this is a flag here on FedEx. Could be an interesting trade. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I would trade it. But UPS, yes. The problem with trading FedEx now is the premium is going to be elevated just because of the implied volatility. And if you get into a trade on the open, you're going to get crushed. So you'd have to wait for those premiums to drop a little bit, for the volatility to drop. But UPS, yes, add that to my list, UPS. I like the way it looks, and if you go back over the course of the last year, this was an anomaly. I mean, this was a glitch in the system. This long candle, there are a bunch of them all over the place. They really screw up your charting. But trying to figure out let's see. All right, there's your trend line. So it's interesting because this is support also. So this trend line here on UPS connecting from this high to this candle, and this one. So this is a good trend line. So now you've got a gap to here as support. You have the ATR trailing stop here, and you've got this trend line as support. So yeah, I would look to trade UPS off of a decline to this level. And I do suspect that it will, just given how it looks here. I mean, this is a beautiful shooting star candle. And because it's green, you would normally want to see what the next candle looks like and how it would actually perform. If it was red, no question, we're going to reverse, I think, and go down. Because it's green, you have to wait for the next candle. And because it is red, so it confirms that this is going to be a reversal. The question is, where is support? AMD looks like it is going to reverse based on that red doji. But who knows? It's really holding its own. Amazon. So Amazon, this is a bull flag. And I am going to see if I can come up with a target. So $100.99 minus a low of 95. 599 divided by 299. So I would add 299 to the breakout. The bull flag on the 4-hour. AMSL. So AMSL moves $19 a day, 19 bucks a day. That's a lot. Yesterday, it moved from a low of 598 to a high of 631. So it moved $33 yesterday.
I'm sorry, that is ASML.
ASML.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, they're in the chip business. So 630 was a price. So a 630 call, which would be in the money yesterday, that would have been $5. That's pretty reasonable. That's going to be a lot less today. So again, I'm trying to find things with high ATRs that can be traded. So looking back at coin, I'm going to mark the 30-minute ATR trailing stop on these. AMD, we're looking at 95.73. Amazon is close to the long candle support, so that would be a much better. That's one I would really consider. You want to try to buy things off of support or resistance. And the stronger the support and stronger the resistance, the better the move you're going to get. Like here, ASML, you could get a move off this 30-minute ATR trailing stop back to the upside. But the question is whether it will fail and eventually try to come back and test this support here on this long candle. I guess it doesn't really matter as long as you get the benefit of the move. KLAC is another one. KLAC moves about 1350 a day. It has a very long candle. Yesterday, from a low of 365 to a high of 390. That's 35. That's $25 on yesterday. And NVIDIA got an upgrade today, by the way. I think the price target was raised to like 305 or something like that. So it's going to lift the chip sector, I imagine. It filled its gap to the upside. This gap was all the way back to here, which was back in April. So that's been filled. Triple Qs are pretty strong, but with overhead resistance. 308.16. Swab inside day. Keep an eye on that. If the market starts to decline, that's going to be my first choice. SPY, this is not engulfing. The close on this candle was 391.45, and the open on this candle was 391.47. So this is not an engulfing candle. It does not signal reversal. It is a long candle, so it's likely to get rejected here on the 5-day EMA and come back and test this long candle support. So I wouldn't necessarily buy it on the open to the upside for that reason. I'd have to wait. You need to mark the resistance. So.
Richard, can I ask you about Google?
Sure. Let me just mark this and we'll take a look at Google. Yeah, Google had a very long candle, very big day yesterday.
Yeah, I missed it.
Well, we all did. So.
Well, I was watching it. I just hesitated to get in, and then I didn't know where to get it, so I just let it go.
Yeah, Google and Amazon have been beaten up pretty badly, so not surprising. I'm gonna add it here, Google.
It's under 15 minutes. I see it's like bouncing off the 50. 15 minutes, 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 15 minutes
Yeah, so you have a flag here on Google. Which is broken out already. And then you're gonna take the 101.19. Minus this low of 95.50. 569 divided by 284, and add that to the breakout price of 99.73. So 102.57 is what I have on Google for a
57.
target on this bull flag.
Target.
102.57.
So for the bottom of the candle, you didn't take the tail. You only took like,
I did take the tail.
you did take the tail. Okay.
Yeah, you take the low. So I took the high of this candle,
Okay.
which was the last high. And then I took the low of this candle. So that's the pole.
Perfect. Thank you.
Mhm. Okay. And this is an open bullish candle here also. So that's a indication that we're going to move up on Google.
Okay.
And the beauty of it is you've got an ATR trailing stop support right here at this long candle, 98.39. So if it comes back there, I'm buying it.
98.39.
It could be back there by the end of the day. And if so, then I would look at buying it for next week.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm. And we're going to open and run to the upside, looks like. That's not going to chase. So UPS is looking attractive here. Looking real attractive. But there we go. All right. So I'm going to wait because I liked where SPY is opening though. Maybe I'll get, well, you know what? Tesla's cheap today. So I'm gonna get the 185 call on Tesla. I'm gonna do it here on the open. Oh, I gotta be in the right account though. All right, so I'm in the 185 on Tesla just because it's relatively inexpensive today, Friday. So I'm trading that instead of SPY. SPY is a good trade also, but I can buy Tesla for the same price. Tesla moves $9 a day. SPY moves $6, so that's the difference in my decision making. Let's look around and see what we've got. So AMD, you got a decline. initially. Looks like it's finding support here on the 20. Amazon. Bull flag breakout. So here, Amazon, we're gonna add 299. So that's 129 plus 299. 103.28 is the target for Amazon. 103.28. Oh, 103.28. In the right price. ASML, which we talked about. So those options now, ASML moves $17, 18 bucks a day. The option premiums are relatively inexpensive compared to what you get, but the spreads are fairly wide, so be careful. Market's very volatile in the open. Coin's going to come back and test this ATR trailing stop. DR is an inside day. It's breaking down. Google. Wow, it's off to the races. Target is on that Google bull flag is 102.57. It's not far from it. KLAC. NVIDIA with the upgrade today. Triple Qs. Schwab. I'm going to take a put on Schwab. I mean, it's relatively inexpensive. It's talking, looks like about 63 cents is what the ask is, what the midpoint is. Well, maybe I'll just wait because I don't want to be in too many things at once. All right, my Tesla has turned against me. It hits the ATR trailing stop on the 4 hour and got rejected. I'm watching it on the 1 hour and looks like we are, excuse me, looks like we are forming an inverted hammer here, which will be fine. All right, so that swap trade probably would have been a good deal. Oh, it's actually bouncing. I got a lot of volatility on the open, which we kind of expected. So this is going to be a nice candle, provided it closes as a inverted hammer here, that'll be a bullish signal for Tesla. Spinning top on the 30-minute chart. If this candle closes above this red close, this red opening, that would be a bullish engulfing. SPY looking pretty good here, engulfing to the upside. Triple Qs engulfing. And look at AMD continues to show strength. Amazon. I like AMSL here. Looks like it closed a gap. It did. So it had a gap at 630. It closed it. I want to see if I can buy this at a decent price. 245 was the last price. The ask is 360. 530 is the bid is 360. The ask is 520. The middle is 445. Buy off or slightly above, maybe. If I can get it for $4. So Amazon is starting to make its move back to the upside off of this support. Amazon's cheap. $101 call is 42 cents. That's a really good price. Again, Friday special. So I'm not going to get that AMSL call. The price has moved up. There's one at 620. The bid has moved up. 580. Well, what I can do, given that $18 is the ATR, that's 2 Tesla calls. So since I'm in Tesla, instead of buying ASML, I can simply add to my Tesla call, and that way I don't have to add any additional risk because I'm not having to watch 2 positions. I can get out of Tesla with 1 transaction versus trying to get out of both Tesla and ASML. And given the spread in ASML, it's probably too much risk, more risk I want to take on. So I'm just going to wait and watch here. So we still do have on the 1-hour chart this inverted hammer forming. As long as we can stay in this same general price point. And on the daily, Tesla does have support here above the 5-day EMA. And the 5 is crossing the 50 to the upside. That's a bullish signal. So it just requires patience. I'm looking at the VIX. The VIX is climbing. But it did fall through this support. So it's hitting the long candle resistance here. So the VIX is likely to decline. It's going to get rejected, I would think, and then decline. And the next level of support is going to be this 8-year trailing stop here on the 30-minute chart. So I'm going to look for my opportunity again to the upside. That's a really long candle. Market's turning around and moving to the downside. Checking on Schwab. Put. It's hanging in there for now, but to the downside would be the move. And same thing for Deere. It's still hanging in as well. So AMD, Amazon. So looking at Amazon on the 30-minute chart, it's getting rejected here, this trend line. So if it comes back again, this would be the place to buy it. ASML is kind of moving sideways. Would love to see the spreads narrow. Coin is almost back to the 8-year trailing stop. We talked about coin closing the gap. So the gap is here. Really like to see it close the gap and then look at it to the upside. Google. Love to get some of that volatility out of the market this morning so that you can figure out what direction to take. This is the first retracement here on NVIDIA, so that could be an opportunity to the upside here. It's pretty strong, but it does have a gap also that it needs to fill. And that gap is here. I'd like to see it fill that gap before taking a trade on it. Schwab is going down. It's trying to hang in there, but it's going down. We're gonna get to ORB here in just a minute. So Tesla, I'm looking at the MACD and love to see the MACD turn. for a signal to the upside. UPS, we talked about UPS. It is almost to this support level. On the daily chart, this is what it looks like. It still needs to fill the gap to the downside. And the VIX is trying to find support. At the center of this weekly candle. All right, we're getting our ORB here. Let's just take a look here. Look at my Tesla and see what's happening. Here. Spinning top, spinning top. Support. MACD still pointing down, so I'm going to be a little bit patient, but the spinning top signal reversal. This could be an inverted hammer. It closes in for a minute and a half before it closes. So Tesla, we're breaking below the ORB low. That's what the rest of the market's doing. All right, so is Amazon, AMD, Amazon. So they're all going to test that long candle support. Tesla, the MACD is starting to turn here, it looks like. All right, so this candle is going to, this candle just started, so it's not closed yet. So I got to watch here for the 5-day EMA. Could get rejected here. So I'm gonna let this candle close. But bouncing off of this ORB low, this support level, if this is an engulfing bullish candle, then that's a go signal for me on Tesla. Looking at the 5-day EMA, looks like it's sitting on top of it on the daily. Yep, it hit it, so that's good. 30 seconds on this candle. The MACD is turning. Still gonna let it close. Something seconds left. The MACD has turned, but I want to see the next candle. I want to see it find support above this 5-day EMA. The 20 is still a threat in terms of resistance. All right, so that 5-day EMA is still resistance. The MACD has started to turn, it's trying to turn. Looks like we're going to try to hold here. So I'm going to take a position. Looking at the MACD. And it hasn't fully turned, so I'm taking on an element of risk. I'd like to see it flattened, and it'd be better even if it's starting to cross over to the upside. But I'm looking at this candle here, and it looks like it is going to hold on the 5-day EMA. And this is engulfing bullish, this long green candle. So this says reversal, and it's hitting support. So I like to see a reversal signal off support or off of resistance. Amazon looks like it is also not quite, but Amazon, the MACD has turned, so that would be a good opportunity to the upside on Amazon. AMD, MACD still pointing down. ASML, the spreads are still kind of wide.
What about that KLAC that you mentioned?
KLAC, the spreads aren't so bad. And it looks like it's found support here on the, this is an engulfing bullish candle. 245 and 350 spreads aren't so bad on this. It moves $13.22 a day. So 386 is the low. If you're at $13 for that shit, the possibility is to the upside. So 386.39 plus 13.22. So it has the possibility to get to 400, 399.61. So a 390 call, that would be a $10. That's $1,000. If it hits this ATR today before say 3 o'clock, that's easily a $1,000 gain on this investment. Not sure if it would do that, but it's currently selling at 385. It says, but nobody's willing to pay that.
Google new target.
Sale. Google. Almost 102.57. All right, so I haven't bought AMD, but AMD closed the gap here, and it's been really strong. So I am probably not going to miss it today. So I'm looking at an AMD call here off of this ATR trailing stop. AMD, you've got the MACD. It's sort of crisscrossing, but I like the fact that AMD closed the gap on the daily here. And actually the MACD is turning here on the 2-minute chart, and you've got an engulfing bullish candle. KLAC, price for that is 285. It's still 385 was the last sale. So nobody's willing to actually step in at this point and pay that price. The ask is 265, so it's dropped. Are you looking at this, Satara?
I just want to see how it was trading. It's trading really weird. Like it's up $1, down $1 something. Like it's been going it's jumping.
Yeah.
So I just sort of looked at it, kind of not necessarily to trade it, but to kind of
Yeah,
see
I
how
would-
the movement is. It's off.
Yeah, so you figure the price, right, for an in the money call right now is 380, but Tesla, an in the money call is $1.82. That's a much better value because Tesla moves almost 10 bucks, only $3 less. And not only that, it's looks like a good entry here with the MACD turning to the upside. Or even Amazon. I mean, Amazon is just an AMD. NVIDIA, not so much, just because NVIDIA moves 950, but well, 282. That's pretty pricey for an in the money call. Tesla moves 914 and $1.76. So Tesla's good. I think Tesla's a good value.
So Richard, quick question for SPX on Thinkorswim. Do you have to have a margin account?
No.
So I don't understand. So I'm looking at. I can't seem to bring it. So I can bring it up on the Thinkorswim app, but the options chain, it looks a little bit different than I'm looking at it on my Webull. So for example, if you look at SPX, say it was I don't know, like a 39.40 put.
Okay.
It's saying that it's $15. Okay. And so then when I look on Webull, the 39.40 is saying that it's 430.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't understand what's going on here.
430?
Yep, it's saying 430. The ask is 430, the last was 437, and the bid is 360 on the Webull for today. Oh, maybe it's saying, so I'm looking at this. Okay, this is a little weird. So Webull is 1 in 100 SPX. So maybe that's a smaller version. Okay,
Yeah,
so this might be the mini. This may be a mini version. Okay.
Yeah, could be a derivative
see
of some
that.
sort.
Okay.
Oh, KLAC. So KLAC is moving, let's go back to, yeah, KLAC is moving up, but the price hasn't changed. And let's take a look. It could very well be that just not a lot of open interest. So yeah, so KLAC doesn't have a lot of
think
open
that's what it
interest.
is. Mhm.
So that's why the spreads are so wide. So I'm going to take it off. I don't want that. Let's see about ASML. ASML is a little better, but and wow, I mean, look at it. That would have been a good trade to have taken the risk on that. But yeah, this open interest it's not enough. I'm going to take that off as well. So that Tesla, again, if that was a good catch on the bottom here. So we talked about it, right? This engulfing bullish candle off of this support level. And now Tesla has moved up pretty nicely. Also AMD, heading back to the upside. And Amazon and SPY. So the VIX is falling like a rock. what we have on the VIX. We saw this earlier. We saw this engulfing bearish candle here, which signal reversal. It tried to find support, but it got rejected. So now we're moving to the downside, and we could get an engulfing. Well, this wouldn't be an engulfing bearish. It would be, but it wouldn't matter because this is already at the bottom. Typically, when you see an engulfing bearish candle, you want to see it at the top of a move, which would signal reversal. All right, so the VIX is moving in our direction, in our favor. That means everything else. All right, so looking at Tesla on the other time frames. No real signal, but this is the 5-day crossing the 50 on the 4-hour here. I'm sorry. Yeah, on the 4-hour, that's right. So this is a bullish signal. So given that it's crossing here, Tesla should break this resistance on the ATR trailing stop to the upside and should have a pretty good move. Of course, now it does have resistance on the 1-hour at 187.08. So I'm going to mark that. It's odd that the resistance is inverted. It's lower on the 4-hour versus on the 1-hour, but 187.08. All right, so AMD. AMD is going to face some resistance here at 99.65. But if you look at the volume coming in, there's already a lot of volume. So it's price going to break through that, smash through it, I should say. And then you've got this bull flag target on Amazon here. Looking at SPY. SPY is still negative, but it's bouncing off the 5-day EMA. So SPY is going to be a really, I think, good trade to the upside. It didn't find support on the long candle just because it did on the 5. So that's a nice indication of a move back to the upside. But given again the price of Tesla today, you can buy an in the money call on SPY for $2.08. SPY moves 662, or an in the money call on Tesla for 214. You can spend an extra now $2. So, and Tesla typically outperforms SPY. It hasn't recently, been dealing with some news, but I think today is going to be the day. So this is your decline. This is the opportunity on Tesla here. We got the reversal. We want to find support on the VWAP in the 5-day, and the 20 and the 50, and etc. So AMD, so strong. Right, so Amazon opportunity here off of the VWAP back to the upside. Coin, the trade was off of this ORB low. Google did hit the target, 102.57. Got as high as 102.84. Looking at Google now on the 30-minute chart, it's starting to flash a star, a shooting star.
Yeah, it got out of it.
So lots of volatility today. Quad witching makes it even more so. Got a bunch of stuff being unwound. All right, so looking at Tesla, it really needs to hold here on the 20-day EMA. We know that that typically serves as support. It could fall here and test this 30-minute ATR trailing stop at 181. We have 45 minutes on this candle to close, so it could do almost anything. With the VIX climbing though, the market is turning around. AMD even is coming back. Amazon. Double top, this was a signal here. Double top hitting resistance. Tweezer top actually hitting resistance. That's a bullish signal, a bearish signal. Schwab inside day, downside. About to break the ORB low. SPY. Not so sure if it's gonna be continuing to the downside.
These are top weakness on the Qs on the 15.
Yeah.
And I expect some choppiness now, probably.
Well, you've got a shooting star hitting the 30-minute ATR trailing stop on the Qs. But
Yeah,
we could,
Microsoft and it is very strong. It's crazy. It's just pushing through.
it looks like there's an opportunity here on AMD back to the upside.
News.
And then the money call for Tesla now is $1.82. That's because time is a factor. So the VIX, oh, UPS, we hadn't looked at it in a while. Fill the gap. And it's giving us an inverted hammer on the 1 hour and on the 30-minute chart hitting support. So there's your UPS trade. It's engulfing bullish on the 5-minute. Or is that a 2-minute? Was engulfing bullish on the 2-minute.
Richard, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Yeah. When you was talking about AMD's gap, are you referring to yesterday's close and this pre-market high?
Yesterday's close, yes.
Okay.
So it closed here yesterday at, not the close, but yesterday's high. So not the
Yesterday's
close,
high.
but the high. Yeah, so the high yesterday was 96.69. And AMD opened today at 96.66, which was higher than the close. Wait a minute. Is that, no, actually, I guess it didn't. So it did not have a gap. There was no gap.
Okay. There was no gap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the high was 96.69 and AMD opened at 96.66. So there was no gap on
There
AMD.
was no, okay. Open.
NVIDIA had a gap.
I gotcha.
It came close to filling it, but it didn't fill it. All right, so choppy. VIX is falling again. And is this engulfing? It is not engulfing. But it looks like that long candle resistance is still holding, at least trying to hold. Oh, my AMD call now is going negative. It was. All right, so looks like the market can't find its footing for the upside. Schwab and Deer puts. All right, UPS look like it's turning here. Back to the upside, it closed it filled that gap, which we needed it to do. And now it's moving up. So if you were patient, here was your opportunity once it filled the gap. And of course, we've now got this move back above the 5-day EMA. May have some trouble here with this ORB low.
Yeah, market is too weak for me to take it. I'm not taking it.
So Amazon's going to test the long candle support, looks like the 30-day EMA, 30-minute ATR trailing stop. Schwab would have been a good put. Again, off that inside day trigger. And it's still not too late, actually. The target is 54.54. That's based on the inside day candle. So SPX, you have is forming an inverted hammer here, bouncing off of the 20. This is a 30-minute chart, still has 10 minutes for that to close. AMD is moving back to the upside. All right, so the 5-day EMA for Tesla on the daily is at 181.61. So we'll see if the support holds. It's right there at that ATR trailing stop also. SPY is back as its long candle support. So by waiting, you get to see the forest. You don't get caught up in the trees. Amazon is nearing long candle support. The SPY looks to be bouncing off of that long candle. So I'm keeping my eye on the VIX looking for a reversal signal. Don't see one yet, which means we're still going to be heading down. So Tesla's entering oversold territory here. So just looking for the MACD to turn. I imagine most things are oversold at this point. SPY, not AMD. Amazon is just entering oversold. So UPS is holding on support, this trend line here. But it looks weak. The market overall looks weak. But with the volatility, we know what's likely to happen. You'll get this huge move to the downside and a huge move back to the upside. This is a very long candle on Tesla on the 30-minute, which indicates to me that it's overdone the move to the downside, but just waiting on the MACD. So I'm going to have to end shortly. I have a meeting in Annapolis, Maryland. At 11:30.
Okay, have a great weekend.
All right, thanks. But I do believe the move is to the upside.
Yeah, have a good
So-
weekend.
All right, you too. So looking at the VIX, now you've got a shooting star on the VIX on the 5-minute. So that signals reversal. It's going to close in 2 seconds. There you go. So I would be looking again. I think the move to the downside is overdone. I mean, the candles are just so long. So I would be looking for an upside move here. Not sure how long it will last, but right now the move is, the trade is to the upside. So just going to go through everything real quickly. So looking at AMD, which is still holding its own. Amazon bounce off that long candle. So Amazon back to the upside here would be, I think, a really good trade. The MACD is turning. You can get an Amazon $99 call for 53 cents. That's a really great price. You've got Coin. Coin's been holding. It's bouncing off the 20. We know that's good support, but it's already made its move, a lot of it. So Amazon's a better trade just because you have more room to the upside. If you calculate off the low of 98.34, add the ATR of 313, that gives you the possibility of the upside move. Deere, which is on my list, going to ignore that. Google, good trade bouncing off the VWAP. So this would be one to consider buying next week's expiration at this point. NVIDIA bouncing off the 20. Looks like it's heading back to the upside. Qs, double bottom. This is a tweezer bottom on the Qs. So that's a reversal signal. Qs back to the upside. $6 is the actual move. So if you are looking at the bottom here being this low of 305.81, and you're at $6, so 311 is a possibility on the Qs. You could buy a 308. You could buy a 309 for 45 cents. Schwab looks like it's trying to turn around after it didn't quite hit the target, but I think it will. I would stay away from it because again, it's just a downside trade. That's what I would look for. SPY, the MACD is starting to turn. So it's holding on this long candle support, lower 390.53 with an ATR of 675. Looking at 396. So a 3, you can get a 394 call for 54 cents. That's too far. A 393 for 82 cents, too outside the money. Tesla struggling a bit, but you've got an inverted hammer, a lower 180 bouncing off this algorithmic institutional support level. Looks like it is going to try to hold there. And 180.65 with a $9 ATR. So you're talking 189, 190 on Tesla is the possible move to the upside. UPS. I would probably stay away from it at this juncture. It doesn't look like it has any support. Well, I take that back. There is support here on the 1 hour chart. There's an ATR trailing stop here. I'm going to mark this. So given that a bounce here off of 187, you're talking $3.90. But I don't know, the market looks like it's just still too weak. So just be careful. But if you're going to trade, you want to trade something that's already beaten down versus something that's up. Coin doesn't have a lot more to the upside, I wouldn't think. 69.10 was the low, 621. So it's pretty close to having hit its ATR. Then everything else is moving to the downside. So we're heading down today, looks like, in a big way. All right. So careful, just watch yourself because this market and the level of volatility is really crazy. And we're breaking through some key support areas. I mean, look at the SPY. This long candle support is now resistance. But the MACD is still pointing down. It's oversold. So look for a turn on the MACD for a reversal. Tesla oversold. The MACD did not turn around. So again, that's what you're looking for. Okay, guys. I hope you have a good day. I'll try and catch up with you this afternoon. So maybe we reconnect at 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Or maybe 2 o'clock today.
Okay, Richard.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. I'll see you guys later.